I bake quite a lot, and my favorite cupcake I have ever made is the coconut cupcake by Martha Stewart. They're moist, they have the fluffiest frosting, and again, coconut is one of my favorite flavors, so again, it's just an all-around winner. This recipe, before I get started, is a little bit more difficult than your average recipe, so if you want to repeat it or try it out at home, it's going to take a little bit more effort, and if your only experience baking is using box cakes mixes or just throwing two things together and having it work out, this isn't the recipe you're going to want to start with. But after you practice a little bit, or if you've baked a little bit, try it out. It's absolutely delicious. This recipe has 3 separate phases: the actual cupcake, the frosting, and then the topping that goes on top. So for the actual cupcake, what you're going to do is you're going to get your first bowl. You're going to want to whisk 1 3/4 cup flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 cup of shredded coconut. You're just going to whisk that together, set it aside. That's bowl number 1. In your next bowl, you're going to cream together with your electric mixer 1 1/2 sticks of butter and 1 1/3 cup sugar until it's nice and fluffy. You're going to mix that a while. It might take a couple of minutes for it to get really nice and really fluffy. After that's all combined, you're going to want to whisk in. So you just put it in, then turn it on. Each egg, 1 at a time. You're going to do 2 large eggs and then 2 large egg whites. Now, let's say you've never done this before, or you don't have a yolk separator. It's really easy. I'll just show you. Here's your egg. All you're going to do, and a bowl is very important. You're going to crack your egg, and instead of normally just cracking your egg into the bowl, what you're going to do is just open it gently. So you have half the yolk, and you're going to dump half the egg white in there. You can see how the little yolk's still in, the little eggshell. You're just going to transfer back and forth until your yolk and your egg white is separated, and you can just throw this away. And now you have your egg white in the bowl. Really simple, not hard at all. So after you add all of that together, so that's bowl number 2. In bowl number 3, you're going to add 3/4 cup unsweetened coconut milk and 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla. You're just going to mix that together, and then you're done there. Now you should have 3 bowls. What you're going to do next is you're going to combine your you have your original mixing bowl, you have your wet ingredients and your dry, and you're going to combine them into the original bowl with the mixer on about 1/3 at a time. So you're going to have the mixer turned on, add a little wet, add a little dry, wait. Then just let it mix again, do the same thing, and then a 3rd time until all of it's combined. It's really just to combine all your ingredients and make sure all of them are truly combined well and very even. So after that's all done, you're going to place the batter in cupcake liners in a cupcake tin, about 2/3 of the way full, and you're going to bake them at 350 for 20 minutes. What's really important about this recipe is you have to make sure that your cupcakes are completely cool by the time you put the frosting on top. You don't want them a little warm. They have to be completely room temperature. I even put mine in the fridge so they're a little bit cold, because with this type of frosting that gets put on top, it'll melt if it's warm at all. So you just have to make sure cupcakes need to be cool. For the whipped frosting, what you're going to do is combine in a pot 1 1/2 cups of sugar, 2/3 cup water, and 2 tablespoons of corn syrup. You're going to put this in a pot on the stove. You're going to stir it occasionally, cook it on about medium-high until it goes to a boil. Again, just stir occasionally. It's not too difficult. Just stir it so it doesn't burn. As soon as it's at a boil, you're going to stop stirring. Put your spoon down. It's got to do its thing. What you're going to do is put a thermometer in and wait till it gets to 230 degrees. And that'll take probably 10-15 minutes from boiling to 230 degrees. So you got some time. While that's happening, you're going to go back to your mixer and you're going to get a bowl, and you're going to whip 6 egg whites with 2 tablespoons of sugar, and you want to keep whipping them until soft peaks form. Now, it's a little bit hard to see on the camera, but you can see here in my bowl, this is what your frosting is going to look like with just the egg white and sugar. It's nice and white, and you can see here the peak. It's when you bring your mixer out of the batter, it should be stiff and the peak should just tip over like a nice ice cream cone. That's what you want in a soft peak. That's what's really important before this can be done. After you're done with that, you're going to, that's can set aside until, again, your sugar reaches 230 degrees. After that reaches 230 degrees, you're going to pick up your pot and you're going to come over to your soft peak bowl of eggs and you're going to want to combine them. Now, I know you're thinking, as soon as something hot touches an egg, won't it cook and get curdled and gross? And that's what you have to be really careful about when combining egg whites and hot sugar. The trick that I've used is you pour the bowl of liquid in a very skinny, steady stream, very small amounts, and you only let it hit the side of the bowl and slowly run into the egg whites. Meanwhile, the egg white mixture has the whisk on, so it's constantly moving, so it's slowly being combined into the egg yolk, so that it doesn't, or egg whites, so it doesn't get, like rubbery and eggy and look like scrambled eggs. So you're just going to slowly pour until all of that's combined. Again, it's on high and it's whisking, whisking, whisking. And about 10 minutes after it's been whisking a while, you can feel the sides of the bowl because as soon as when you put the hot sugar in, the bowl's going to be like super hot. It'll like hurt to touch because you just put 230 degree sugar into a metal bowl. What you want to wait for is your bowl to become like cool to the touch. So after you combined it and you feel it, you can rest your hand there. It's comfortable. It might be a little bit warm, but again, it's not boiling hot anymore. So after that's all combined, it'll be a really pretty fluffy white color and it'll be shiny. It's a very pretty frosting. As soon as that's done, your frosting's done, and you can take your cupcakes that you've had on the side, completely cooled, I remind you, and you're going to want to do scoop your frosting up and put a dollop of frosting on each one. So each one almost has like a dollop of sour cream look on it, but it's a shiny, pretty, almost marshmallow looking frosting. So you can do that for each cupcake. So you'll have about 20 of them, and then you can finally put the topping on. What you'll do is it's shredded coconut that you've used before. You're just going to take the coconut and sprinkle a little bit onto each cupcake. So you end with a cupcake with a little bit of like fluffy marshmallow frosting and shredded coconut. And I also recommend that you eat these the same day. They tend to not be as good the next day because of the frosting, but I don't think you'll have an issue with it. These are delicious cupcakes and you'll want to eat all of them the same day. Anyway, thank you.